Good afternoon. My name is David Douglas. For those that don't know me, I always say half of my life is spent in this arena, helping people find their path to recovery. My education and my research is in this arena. I've done research during my master's degree and during my doctoral research, which for me personally really opened my eyes to the many paths that someone can get to and sustain their recovery in. I would like us to take another moment of silence, not just for those who we have lost due to an overdose from a substance use disorder, but also for those we know right now are out there and they're struggling. Today is International Overdose Awareness Day. Today alone, we will lose hundreds to an overdose. And I'm repeating what I heard someone else say in regard to the amount of people that will die just today alone. And this will happen another 364 days of the next year. Imagine for a moment that we read on the news every day for 365 days, and repeat that again and again because that's the trend we're on, that a plane falls out of the sky full of humans and everyone perishes. I want you to imagine that for a moment, because that's what we're experiencing right now in our country with overdose deaths. A plane falling out of the sky with 260 to 300 people, and they all die. That's the hard statistics of where we're at right now with overdose deaths. 2019, our country suffered over 70,000 overdose deaths. That was a 27% increase from the year prior. We have yet to see the numbers for 2020, and it puts chills through my bones for a variety of reasons, a few of which I'll share with you today. The theme of my words that I will share with you are: we can do better, we need to do better, we must do better. For those that know me, if you look at my life and think, wow, David has a great life, which I do, and I'm fortunate for the life I have. If you look at my life and you think I have a great life in all the areas that I do, family, community engagement, the work I get to do, I want you to remember a few things about the life that I have before you today, and I know many others in this audience share the same. It is only because of access to resources in the form, this is my story and I know many others, multiple episodes of treatment for a substance use disorder, not just one, multiple. My great life that I have before you today is also because of ongoing access to mental health counseling, because I, like many others with substance use disorders, suffered greatly with mental health disorders, and I needed ongoing access to mental health counseling for that. Access to housing, a place to live, a roof to put over my head when I left treatment, educational opportunities, GED, high school diploma, trade school, college, so that I could get a career, and employment opportunities. And just briefly, for those that don't know, if you think, what are you talking about with housing and employment? Here's the cold hard truth. Because substance use disorders are primarily treated through the criminal justice system in all too many cases, many people, myself and many others in this room included, we get to that life in recovery that everyone says, get recovery, and then we face massive barriers just to get a place to live because of criminal convictions that are on our record. We are faced with massive barriers from employers who see our record and go, nope, not you. So those are just a couple of the barriers when talking about housing and employment opportunities. I live a fortunate life today. I'm one of the lucky ones that is standing here today, that I'm able to say that I haven't had to use drugs or drink since March 25th of 2007. I'm going to ask you to nod applause. I am going to ask at this time for anyone else that's willing, that's in this audience today, that has a similar story like mine, that you're a person in recovery, to raise your hand. Thank you. Keep your hands up for me. I'm also going to ask if there are any family members of people in recovery to raise your hands. Because I'm going to close with, at the end, that recovery works and lives do change. But we got work to do. Thank you. One area that we can I spend a lot of my time doing trainings and educating people in this arena, is reducing the stigma that surrounds substance use disorders. And I'm going to repeat that again. Reducing the stigma that surrounds this health condition, substance use disorders. The mere language we use in this area has massive stigma. Just a few, druggie, loser, meth head, alkie, etc., etc. I could go on and on. They all only work toward further stigmatizing substance use disorders. Imagine if that's all you're hearing and you're struggling with this. How quickly are you going to want to go get some help? Might not be so quick. Even with all we know, this is, excuse me, I get tired of having to repeat this. This has been a diagnosable condition since the 50s, right? Even with all the research we have in front of us today, great research, quality research that says this is a health condition. We moralize it. We judge it. We whisper about it. We don't talk about it. I'm glad to see everyone out today in this public forum speaking loudly about this, because we need to do more about this. This is a health condition that has, think about this for a second. Think about all the health conditions out there. I want you to do that. This is the one health condition that has more stigma attached to it than any other health condition out there. Again, this is the one health condition, I'm repeating health condition on purpose, the one health condition that has more stigma attached to it than any other health condition out there. I, all too often, field calls from community members who struggle with this very issue. Family members who whisper in quiet and suffer in silence. If we all work to speak loudly about this treatable health condition, we can lower the stigma for those that need help. We must do better so more lives can be saved. Another area is access to treatment. Insurance companies work on a daily basis to deny treatment. Those who work in the field, my son, who works at an inpatient treatment facility, his entire job, is to be on the phone, and I'm going to say fighting with insurance companies, you ready for this? For 3 days of extra treatment. For people, and some of you can nod your heads, that need long-term care. But he has to fight to get 3 days, to extend it to 21 days or 28 days. Insurance companies work daily to fight this. This for a person who likely needs long-term care well beyond a 21, 28-day episode. My researcher hat comes on quick. The research is clear. The longer the treatment, the longer the access to the resources an individual needs, the higher the likelihood that they will sustain long-term recovery. You see people with other health conditions get immediate access. I'm backing up so I don't yell in your ears. Immediate access to care. Not this one. Not this one. Not just for insurance reasons, but I'm just talking about the insurance reasons. Yet for substance use disorders, insurance companies work hard to deny again and again. We must do better so more lives can be saved. And the last area I'm going to talk about is recovery supports. This is the area I'm working on with many other people to increase in our community. Recovery supports must be readily available for our community members who find a path to recovery. In communities across our nation, there are all too many situations where a person finds that way to get to treatment and then returns home to face massive barriers. Some of them I've already talked about for sustaining their life in recovery. These barriers, I'm repeating it, take shape in the form of lack of access to housing, job opportunities, and that critically important ongoing care for substance use and mental health disorders. If you haven't heard the term co-occurring disorders, I'm a bright, shining example, and many others. If you're willing to raise your hand, go ahead. I didn't just suffer with a substance use disorder. I suffered with depression and anxiety, and I needed treatment for that too. But all too often we say, well, you got treatment for your addiction. Good luck. No, we need to have access to those supports for individuals in our communities. I even go further, because this was the case for me. I'll make you laugh. My grill that you see, thousands of dollars of work because I needed dental care. Access to a physician. All of those are very important. These are just a few of the areas that people in early recovery face when starting a life in recovery. We must support programs that can take down these barriers so our community members can sustain their lives in recovery. We must do better so more lives can be saved. In closing, because I'm a cup half full kind of guy, I know this is a somber day. I know there's family members here that have recently lost loved ones, and it pains me. Recovery works, lives change. Right now, there are over 25 million of our community members across the nation who have found a life in recovery. When this happens, hey, this is the power. We become integral members of the communities we live in. We are your neighbors. We're your co-workers. Our kids are with your kids in schools right now. When we are given the necessary and ongoing resources needed to sustain our lives in recovery, we are a powerful force that make communities better places to live. We must do better so more lives are saved. Thank you.